Hi, everyone. I'm Amy,
And I'm Audrea.
and this is the Right Crowd. So grab a cup of coffee,
Or a cup of tea.
maybe a little something on the rocks, and let's get started. All righty. So this one is all Audrea. So for this session, we're going to be talking about different mystery source resources and the differences between cozy mysteries and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure. Felt like we're like that. I'll do it. Learning that.
No worries. Okay. So, for those of you playing along at home or watched other of our videos, we did one on how to write and market a cozy mystery by T. Lockhaven. We did that one, and that was a good one. We did that one in a couple of episodes, and you can see mine is tabbed and highlighted. So the reason we're doing this one is because from time to time, I get asked, like, how do you write a mystery? And from time to time, even though I am currently in the middle of writing 3 mysteries for the same series, they're all, yeah, supposed to come out in a series sequentially. I often think, how do you write a mystery? So I have many resources. And if you're looking at my bookshelf right above my head there's a gap. And that gap is not because I need more books. I always want more books. And I
Okay.
always need more books.
I was going to say, we need to clarify.
So I took down a lot of, not all of, but a lot of my mystery section. But that mystery section goes from there all the way over to there. And there's some that are by my bed, etc. All right. So I'm going to talk about some of the different mystery books on how to write a cozy or how to just write a mystery and pros and cons of each and where you can find them.
So before you start that, tell us the difference between a cozy and all the other mysteries.
That is a great question. And I will preface it with, all right, here's a couple of different books. So this one is Writing the Cozy Mystery. And this one is
I have that one.
How to Outline a Cozy Mystery.
I have that one.
Talk about that one. And this one is just Mastering Suspense, Structure, and Plot by Jane Cleland. She teaches classes and does webinars. She's very knowledgeable. And for example, this one is by Haley Efron, Writing and Selling Your Mystery Novel. So you can tell some of them say cozy and some of them just say mystery. So the difference is that a cozy mystery will often be an amateur sleuth. It'll be a closed environment, so a small town or an apartment building.
Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury, Cabot Cove was a classic cozy mystery TV show. And then currently, one of the ones in production now is Only Murders in the Building, which takes place in New York, which is not a typical location for a cozy mystery. It's typical for mysteries, noir, hard-boiled detective, procedurals, and all those other crime genre of novels, but not for, or stories, not for cozy mystery, because it's so big. There's so many people, there's so many influences, but they've made it cozy by making the environment or the atmosphere smaller, and they've relegated it to Only Murders in the Building, although they went to a playhouse in the last season. But so that's how you shrink your environment so that you have only certain people that you're interacting, the sleuth is interacting with. And so they're reoccurring characters in a cozy mystery, whereas in a regular mystery, the sleuth might encounter a dead body and then police they've never met and characters they may have met or never met. They'll be new to them. And then in the next book, if there's a next book, it'll be a whole different environment or different people, different situation. But in a cozy mystery, it's going to be the same sleuth, obviously, and it's going to be the same quirky characters you've been introduced before. Now, they may introduce a new character, or one of those quirky characters may end up dead, unfortunately. But some of the quirky characters, the best friend, the nosy neighbor, the odd, store clerk and things are going to be the same. So it's a smaller environment for a cozy mystery. Also for a cozy mystery, they like to have no blood or gore on the page, or if it's a movie or TV. on the screen. They want to keep that to a minimum because usually your cozy mystery readers are going to be more, well, it's in the name, cozy. If we don't want blood and gore and horror and things like that, it's just, this is a comfortable read. Even though somebody's died, it's usually a puzzle that gets solved in a cozy mystery. So again, it's a small environment, reoccurring quirky characters, and no blood or gore or horrid murders that are seen on the screen or on the page. Usually the sleuth will, or someone will come upon the dead body, but they won't have been a witness to an awful, awful real crime of murder. And then the other thing that sets them apart usually is there's usually no foul language. So no F-bombs being dropped in a cozy mystery. That will get you a 1-star review really quick if there's some F-bombs. However, as things change, so do genres change, expand, contract, etc. And so I have read I did read a cozy mystery with full on a cozy mystery, and there were F-bombs and there was shenanigans in the bedroom, and I was like, "Hi, there's shenanigans in the bedroom in a cozy. There's all sorts of things happening on the page," and I was like, I had to take the book. I'm like, what is genre is this? But it was a very good book, and I kept reading, and I'll read another one. But
And
it was a cozy mystery. Yeah, yeah, it was. But yeah, I think that it was different. And there's a new genre that's started to be bandied about called what are they calling it? They're calling it cozy noir or hard-boiled cozy. So it might have been closer to that hard-boiled cozy. Or I don't think I like cozy noir as much. But anyway, so as I said, genres can expand. And I read a cozy fantasy last year. And they have cozy mysteries on spaceships now. So you can have a cozy mystery anywhere. So that's what's going to set a cozy mystery apart. Those things. And usually it's an amateur sleuth. However, there are cozy mysteries where it's the same inspector, like Inspector Gamache, and he's always beautifully written books. And he goes to Three Pines. His mysteries usually take place in Three Pines town in Canada. And they're very cozy. The people in that Three Pines community are always the same. There's the quirky feminist woman who has a pet duck. And then there is the bed and breakfast innkeeper and the couple, the 2 male restaurant owners. And I'm getting the businesses mixed up a little bit. But anyway, the same quirky characters, and then Inspector Gamache and his team come in and solve whatever crime has happened in and around Three Pines. So
that makes me think that Midsummer Murders is a cozy series.
you could and that I would like the Inspector Gamache, Midsummer Murders, which I love, would lean towards that cozy procedural. So a procedural, you're going to see the procedures that police do, the steps they take to solve a crime. And it's focused not on an amateur sleuth, but on the detective or police officers, and they are doing the solving of the crime, and they're interacting with the witnesses, the suspects, etc. The difference in Midsummer Murders is Midsummer, similar to Cabot's Cove, murders are always happening in that Midsummer county. But you'll notice that the inspector goes around from county to cities or towns within that county, so it's not always the same exact little hamlet in Great Britain that in Midsummer County that he goes to. So it's always different suspects, different characters. The only characters that are the same is the inspector, his wife, his little dog, his little terrier, and he's a detective chief inspector, and I think the other one is British police titles. I get them mixed up. So there's 2 of them. There's the detective and his partner, and they are the only ones in their family that reoccur. And the person, the coroner, is going to be the same. So their team is the same, and then they go to different towns. So I would say it leans cozy, although if you ever watch Midsummer Murders on television, those are some gory crimes that occur. There are people just...
And that was where I was, is it because it has all the pieces? There's no sex, there's no language. Some of their crime scenes aren't very, like, you just know. But then there's other ones where you're like, oh,
Yeah, people are giving their heads lopped off, and I mean, more gory, garish crimes are happening there. So
Oh,
I'd say it's cozy adjacent. So anyway, between all of those, I focus a little on cozy because that's my favorite, and I love reading them, and I read them voraciously. And so I wanted to write a cozy. So I set myself about the task of learning what is a cozy mystery and how to write a cozy mystery and what are the elements. I love all mysteries, actually, but and I grew up on like hard boiled, like Mickey Spillane and Sam Spade mysteries. Those are hard boiled detective mysteries where it's an actual detective who does the crime solving, and there's language and blood and murders on the screen or on the page in those. But I, mm, my grandmother turned me on to get me away from romance novels, mystery novels, and they were more cozy. So that's what I read most of these days. So a mystery is a mystery. There's always a crime to solve. In cozy mysteries, the crime is usually, not always, but usually murder. And so those are some of the elements of what makes a cozy mystery. And it's in the crime genre and in the under mystery. And so the books that I used, so you said you had, this one was, I can my first one, and it's a teeny book. This one is by Nancy J. Cohen, writing the cozy mystery. And it's dog-eared. I've read it over and over again. It's a handy little book, even though it's only, let's say, 33 pages. And you can get a ebook of this. I wanted to have the one that I could flip through and put a bookmark in and go back to. But Nancy J. Cohen writes a lot of cozy mysteries. So she did a great job of explaining what is a cozy mystery, what are the elements that you should have, how to create a sleuth. A lot of the books we're going to talk about how to create a sleuth, how to set up your atmosphere or your environment, your setting. And if you're going to have a theme, that is another element that is unique to cozy mysteries. They are usually themed, like the knitting cozy mysteries. This year, I was reading Vampire Knitting Club. I told you, you can bring them all together. So you've got the paranormal, you've got the mystery, and it's cozy, you've got knitting, and one of the characters is the main character. She's the amateur sleuth. She owns a knitting shop, and one of the vampires is her grandmother. So, and it's adorable. They're very good. We'll put a link to some of these in the show notes. But so Nancy J. Cohen wrote the Bad Hair Day. Her sleuth is the theme of these is a hairdresser. So you'll see cozy mysteries will have a theme like I said, baking. There's a
that's the one that I'm working on as a baking one.
baking, yeah. I'm reading a cookie series that I really like. I don't always go in for the bake. You know what, if it's good, I'll read it. But so I don't always read the baking ones, but this cooking one was really so I started reading that one. And of course, there's the Hannah J. Swenson baking ones that are on Hallmark Channel. A lot of the mysteries on Hallmark Channel either started out as cozy mystery series or Hallmark just commissioned a whole new series. But the Hannah J. Swenson books are based on a cozy mystery series, and there's a couple of other ones. There's the Cozy Caterer mysteries, and so that's one. They can be themed around one of the themes. It can be environmental mysteries. Like one I was reading was set in Oregon, and those mysteries were always around the crime or the murder was because somebody was trying to build something that would be not good for the environment, or they were polluting the lake. So they're more environmentally themed, which were very good. They can have themes like campsites or hiking or, like Tanya Kappas, prolific cozy mystery writer. And she's just started a hard-boiled cozy series, actually. But her big cozy series that has like 20, 30 books in it is the Cozy Campground series. And that obviously is set in a campground in the South. And they're Southern, so they have accent. And Tanya has
You read it with the accent in your head.
I do. I do. And it's usually they have some of the dialect in the book too, which is always fun. So that's another element. What I like about Cohen's book is it's obviously basic because it only has 32 pages in it, but she talks about suspense. She talks about timing, developing a character. If you are just getting started with writing a cozy mystery, this is a great book. And this one by Sarah Rosett, who's also a writer of cozy mysteries. She's written two. This one, How to Outline a Cozy Mystery. She's also written How to Write a Cozy Mystery Series. Okay, so Sarah Rosett book, I have got Post-its in the front because I started taking lots of notes and putting them on different pages. And I broke my rule of not writing in the book because I used it kind of like she has workbook sections in here. So, for example, in Sarah's book about outlining, and she says she even has a thing here for outlining versus pantsing. If you're a pantser, we've talked about that before, someone who just writes and doesn't have a plan, as opposed to, yes, as opposed to someone who plans and outlines and then writes, which I never used to be. I'm actually kind of a mix. I'm more like a plantser because
I feel like I'm becoming a planter.
what happened was I just wrote the first iteration of my current series, the first book in that iteration. I just wrote it. One NaNoWriMo. I just sat out and just wrote that thing, got to the end of it. It solved the crime. And then, yeah, that book, you never publish your first draft of a book. Then I went and reread the book, and there was some great stuff in there, but like how the detective or the sleuth figured out things wasn't in there. I needed to put that in there. And then there are things that you need to have in any mystery, whether or not it's a cozy or a traditional mystery or whatever thriller, etc. You need to have clues, and you need to have red flags. Clues are the things that the sleuth or the detective or the police chief or inspector uses to figure out who done did it or why they did it and things like that. You'll hear them talk about motive and opportunity. You'll hear them talk about the suspects and things like that. All of that stuff has to be put into a cozy mystery or any mystery. And one of the things about a cozy mystery or traditional mystery, one of the things you must do is you must have all the clues in the book for the reader to read. So what a lot of readers who read mysteries want to do is they want to figure out who did it, or they want to solve the mystery along with the sleuth. And some of them want it not too soon. So you have to have good clues and you have to have red herrings. And red herrings are clues that point the sleuth in the wrong direction. Yeah. Instead of right there towards the person who did it. And alibis, things like that. All of that you have to have in a mystery. And the way Sarah lines up her book is she gives you a place to start building or outlining your mystery. So each section, outlining versus pantsing, let's get to a good one here. This first section, the difference between mysteries and thrillers. She tells you that. And by the way, the difference usually is with a mystery, the sleuth is rarely or only mildly ever in danger. With a thriller, there's often the chance that the sleuth could either, the person solving the thrilling crime or whatever, could perish, or something really important to them could perish. They could lose their life, the life of a loved one, the whole planet. If you're watching Mission Impossible, or that's more of an action, but there are big things at stake, including their lives. With a mystery, especially a cozy mystery, it's just the pursuit of justice and making sure that the correct perpetrator or villain is identified, and then justice is given for the victim, and the villain goes to jail or whatever happens to them. So it's more about a small justice rather than a big scale for a thriller. And the peril is either not for the sleuth is either not there or minor. They might be confronted by the villain towards the end, but they're always going to be okay, really, because it's a cozy mystery. So she also talks about meeting reader expectations, and you can see I've got a lot of highlighting in this book. One of the original mystery novelists and most famous mystery novelists and prolific and still to this day read is Agatha Christie. And the people say, was she a cozy mystery author? Well, back then, there was no such thing as a cozy mystery. They were all just mysteries. Right. And so traditional mysteries, but if you looked at them now, they're cozy because it's Miss Marple who's in a little village and solving crimes because she's such a good observer of people and human nature, or Hercule Poirot, who's a detective, more like a consulting detective. He's not on the police force anymore. But so she takes you through coming up with your victim, your suspects, and your sleuth, your setting, and she takes you through reader expectations. One of the things for reader expectations is that whole the clues must be on the page. You have to play fair, and that is one of the tenets that came out of golden age of mysteries. They have this whole list of rules that you have to abide by in order to write a good, fair mystery, and one of those is your reader must be given just as many clues or the chance to solve the mystery as your sleuth does. So I really like Sarah Rosett. Sarah also has a podcast that she does, and she's written historical cozies as well as contemporary cozies, and I've read some of hers. And also, I would say in the vein of beginning is this one. This is one of my favorites. This is a newer one by Natasha Sass. And I know Natasha. I've taken her class. She has a class based on this book. First came the class, and then people wanted, outside of the class, wanted the information. And so she wrote a book, and she wrote a fabulous book. So, Natasha Sass's book. Again, she goes through all the steps, step by step, and it's even in the title, step by step. So if you're a beginning writer and you want to write a cozy mystery, this is a great book, as well as the other ones, for how to do it. And she has written a book similar to the way she taught the class. And some of the steps you're going to do are similar to the ones we talked about with the Sarah Rosette's. And that is coming up with your sleuth, coming up with their superpower. Coming up with the setting or theme for your books, understanding the cozy genre. She does a great section in here, and Sarah does too, on subplots. She just spends more time. So like a romantic subplot or a different kind of subplot that maybe arches over many books or throughout the series, there could be a subplot. And so she talks about how to develop those. She also gives some great lists in here, like how to develop your clues and how to hide your clues and your red herrings. And one of the really cool things that Natasha did, because this is a more recent book, Theodora T. Taylor's Butter, and the cozy mystery. So
It was a seven-figure author.
that was seven-figure author. Yes, we reviewed that book and highly recommend that one. So go back and watch it if you didn't. But Natasha read that book and took classes from Theodora Taylor. So she relates the butter to cozy mysteries. And one of the things, like we talked about a little of that when we did how to write a cozy Christmas book mystery. The butter in here is you were going to want to have gingerbread houses, snow, icicles, peppermints, cocoa, tree trimming. These are the things that you'll see in a cozy Christmas book, as well as a Hallmark Christmas movie. But there's going to be a death in here. This guy's going to get killed. We have to figure it out.
They chewed on the peppermint stick because it wasn't peppermint. It was what they were allergic to.
And one of the things that Natasha does in her book is she goes through step by step. Once she has you develop all the things, she goes through it chapter by chapter. So now once you've figured out who your sleuth is, your setting and all that, let's write chapter 1. And then the next one is let's write chapter 2. And it goes all the way through all the chapters of your book. Let's write chapter 15, plot points. And she talks about pinch points and plot points. And a lot of these use examples. Some of them use Sherlock Holmes, etc., and Cabot Cove. This one she mentions Cabot Cove, but she mentions in here one of my favorites. She and I have had conversations about the TV show Psych. So I love the TV show Psych, which you could think of it as a police procedural because the characters are cops, but the sleuth is not a cop. He's Sean, and he just has really strong. He's very observant.
What else do you have to tell us?
Okay, because this one was supposed to be short, and I'm going on a little long. Here's another really good one by Nina Harrington, and if you guys go to writing conferences, Nina will sometimes do talk at conferences. So will Natasha. But Nina goes step by step through Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, what should be in each act, developing your story hook. She has a really good section in here on developing your story hook. And she talks about paranormal and supernatural mysteries. And she has a case study in here, which is really cool. So she will, like, she's writing a cozy mystery along with you as you're reading this book. So it's a great book with an example in it. And another one with an example, Natasha uses an examples from other cozy mystery authors on things like red herrings and clues, and also examples from the TV show Psych and other media. And the only one that I didn't get to hold up, there's two other ones in my, well, actually, there's many more up there. But Mastering Your Mystery by Cheryl Bradshaw is a good one. She is also a cozy mystery writer. Cheryl has a good section on promoting your mystery. And also this one that I was reading, just using Facebook ads. So there's advertising and other parts of mysteries in here. And this last one is Writing the Mystery. And this one is multiple authors, mystery authors, give tips on how to write a mystery. So, and there are exercises in here. And there are exercises, as you guys know, Amy and I like exercises. There are exercises in many of these books, but we'll list them all in the show notes because I need to stop talking because I can go on and on about mysteries and TV shows and all that stuff because I love them so much. But so those are just some examples if you want to write a mystery or especially a cozy mystery of some good resources out there. In addition to the books, there's also some great YouTube channels where you can learn about cozy mysteries that are coming out soon. And there is a channel by Jane Calmus, which we'll link to, where she goes into how to write a cozy mystery. And she takes you step by step on YouTube. And she's also taught classes as well. So those are some of the resources I would point you to. And we'll put more in the show notes because Amy's giving me a dirty look. And I'm going to stop talking.
And not.
Here, that's it for mysteries and mystery resources for those of you who want to write in that genre. Anything else from you, Amy? Wake up, Amy.
Whatever, my eye was itching. No, I think I'm good. I'm having a quandary where when I write my mysteries that people die, they don't die well.
Mm.
And I'm having an internal conflict on whether I should make my stuff more cozy and not as gory. Yeah, it's an internal conflict I'm having.
Yeah,
I let my mom read something I started. And this isn't even one of the ones I'm talking about, but I let my mom read something that I'd started, and she gave it back to me, and she goes, "Who are you?" So I'm having an internal, like, I don't know. I'm having an internal. That's all.
no, I think if that's the way it came out and you liked it, I think you should write it that way and just not strictly cozy. There, it just has a gory murdery in it. It could be fine.
It was, yeah, it was the person who did the killing and why that she was like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
You know, I don't remember the name of the book, but there was an Agatha Christie book where she made the killer a child, which is, you hardly ever see that. But that was back in the day, back in the 40s.
Mine's a kid.
Yeah, but don't tell.
I mean, I don't know that I'll ever publish it.
Okay. But yeah,
Literally, my mother was like, she gave it back to me with this look on her face. And she was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, I know.
some really well done ones like that. And I'm just reading, it's Murder at the Lobster, Lobstah, not lobster, Lobster Shack. It takes place in Maine, so there's an
I was
accent.
going to say, it's got to be somewhere up there.
In Maine, the accent. I can't do the Maine accent, but anyway, the person gets killed with, apparently, I just started it, apparently with a lobster pick. You know how lobster picks, they have little shaped like lobsters, but the end of them is sharp. And apparently that's what they got killed with. I say apparently because I just started it. But you just get the glimpse of the dead body and you see what the weapon is, but that's it. You're not doing an autopsy or anything else. But, you know, many writers just say, let it all out, write it out the way it comes out. And then if you want to fix it in edits, you can, or just let the book be what the book is.
We'll see.
All right. So I think we'll end it there so we don't do a full 3-hour video.
Well, at least you matched your shirt today.
With what? Murder?
Yes, writers get wordy.
Yeah. I see what you did there. Haha, Amy. All right. That's it, guys. Bye.